Next on Worcester News Tonight, a school shooting takes more innocent lives. A Nichols College dean at the school while it happened recounts the tragic moments. Plus, the Worcester School Committee voting tonight on whether to adopt a suit which would pressure the state for more school funding. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Anna Botari. The Worcester School Committee voting unanimously to support joining a proposed lawsuit for more fair funding of the public schools. The vote was to support the item in general, but the committee is not finalizing anything until the suit, led by the Brockton School Department, is complete. Committee member Dante Comparetto says Worcester doesn't receive the funding it needs from the state to meet the district's needs. He says Brockton's suit is to try to get the state to change its funding formula, especially for high-poverty school districts with high-need learners.
What this would help us fund are things like more teachers, right? Teachers' assistants, social workers, wraparound services, social emotional supports, health supports, ESL, right? All things needed to really teach a diverse student population.
Comparetto says if Worcester joins Brockton, Worcester would be the first city to do so and will hopefully entice other cities like Boston to join. Shrewsbury's superintendent of schools sending out a warning to parents Thursday. In an email, Superintendent Joe Sawyer says police told the school a 12-year-old boy reported a man was driving by him slowly. The boy ran to his house on Flamingo Circle, but told police the man parked his car and started running towards him. Police described the vehicle as a white van with black rims. If you have any information, you're asked to contact police. Superintendent Sawyer is asking parents to remind their children about their rules regarding safety in strangers and to report anything unusual. St. Vincent Hospital is raising awareness for organ donations. The hospital encouraged people to sign up to become a donor Thursday. One daughter we caught up with today shares how donating an organ saved her father's life. Gretchen LaRosa has the story.
Taylor Leonard knew her dad needed help when his kidneys failed almost 3 years ago. The 23-year-old was in nursing school at the time and began her own research into the organ donation process.
You know, you see your dad as like a strong, powerful man, that nothing can touch him, nothing can hurt him, nothing can bring him down. And then I had to sit with him at his dialysis treatments, just cringing in pain, waiting, going through, 4 or 5 hours treatments 3 times a week. And I saw just how draining it was for him, how tired he was all the time, how he couldn't do what he wanted to do.
After meeting with the transplant team at St. Vincent Hospital and undergoing several tests, Taylor was approved to donate a kidney to her dad.
He sees it as, you try to protect your kids and protect them from things that are going to hurt them. And he thought he was putting me in danger by taking my kidney, and he didn't want to do that.
The surgery put Taylor out of work for 3 months, but she says the gift she gave to her father was irreplaceable.
He whispered in my ear, he said, thank you for doing this. I'll never be able to repay you, but I will take care of our kidney, is what he called it.
Taylor's sharing her story as part of St. Vincent Hospital's recognition of National Donor Day. It's part of their effort to raise awareness about the important need for organ and tissue donations.
So it's an opportunity here for us to, clarify information and get people even just thinking about it.
The staff at St. Vincent say donations give recipients a priceless gift. For Taylor, it was giving her dad a second chance at life.
And you don't think it's a big deal, and it's like, well, it's not. It should just be something that you want to do to help your family member, especially your parents, because they gave you life, and now I can say I kind of gave him life, I kept him around.
Taylor says her dad will now be able to experience milestones like birthdays and weddings that he otherwise would not have been able to if not for the kidney transplant. Gretchen LaRosa, Worcester News Tonight.
According to the Center for Disease Control, the flu vaccine is working better than doctors expected. The CDC says overall, this year's vaccine is 36% effective. CDC doctors found it's only 25% effective against the common strain circulating this year. They do say it works better in kids. The vaccine provided 59% protection against N3 and N2 in children 8 years and younger. Despite it being only 36% effective, doctors are still encouraging everyone to get vaccinated.
That's good.
It started earlier this year and it's still building, so I don't think we've seen the worst of it yet. But if you get the vaccine, it may make you less sick. and it also can prevent spreading it to other people.
The CDC says the flu kills from 12,000 to 59,000 people every year. This year so far, 63 children have died from influenza. Tonight, the nation once again mourns another mass shooting, this time at a high school in Parkland, Florida. 17 are dead, 14 more hurt, and the suspect, 19-year-old Nicholas Cruz, faces 17 counts of premeditated murder. A local tie to the tragedy, an assistant dean and football coach from Nichols College were inside the Florida high school when the shooting took place. Both are okay, and tonight we're hearing a first-hand account of the scene and the horrifying moments leading up to when they were evacuated. Our Brittany Schaefer has the story.
Unfortunately, just a crazy experience to be a part of.
Paul Brower had only been at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School for 15 minutes when he heard the fire alarm go off.
You hear code red come over the loudspeaker twice, and it was like, okay, wow, this is something pretty intense.
The assistant dean and a football coach at Nichols College hid in a locker room office during the lockdown.
As you open the door, you could hear gunfire. Is muffled because it was a little bit distant, but it was pretty clear that's what it was. He just shut the door and came bombing back into the office like, hey, whoa, my God.
Soon after, Brower was escorted out of the school by a SWAT team. He says he will never forget the look of horror from students and parents as he left school grounds.
It was pretty hard to watch. I just feel for those kids. I mean, some of those kids are 13, 14, 15 years old, and to go through such a traumatic and intense experience is pretty crazy. And then as we got further away to the perimeter, you could see parents waiting and looking for their kids, and kind of almost climbing over one another to look at the lines and folks coming out. And, as a parent myself, I just genuinely feel for those folks.
The president of Nichols College says while she's happy her staff is safe, the magnitude of the shooting is alarming.
Obviously, our immediate concern was for the safety and security of our own staff, but that was before we knew that it was such a devastating tragedy in general. I'm sure they say they're fine, but I'm sure that they also will have some challenges to deal with.
Brower says he was fortunate to be in a safe place, and he knows the school was well prepared.
Nothing prepares you for it, but you can tell that they obviously had a plan in place. My heart goes out to those folks. It was a crazy day, and I just wish them nothing but the best.
Brittany Schaefer, Worcester News Tonight.
We're also learning more about the heroes in this tragedy, like this coach who died trying to save others. Witnesses say assistant coach Aaron Feast acted as a human shield to protect students from the gunfire. Tonight he's being hailed a hero. State Representative Joe McKenna also weighing in on the deadly shooting. He says support and education for teachers and staff needs to continue.
Just continue to provide supports for our teachers, for our facilities, for our administration and local law enforcement to make sure that we're communicating with students and families and, providing as much service as we can for all of our families.
Closer to home, some high schools in central Massachusetts are talking about the tragedy with their students today, as well as reminding their school community about safety plans they have in place. Our Chandler Walsh has the details.
Flags fly at half-staff outside Auburn High School for the 17 lives lost in the Parkland, Florida school shooting Wednesday. Auburn High took the morning to remind students what to do in an active shooter situation.
The training and the response plans that we have in place are the very best that we could have available to us right now.
Principal Casey Handfield says the district holds active shooter response training annually. They also show training videos to students and run drills twice a year.
We're into the Alice protocol, which basically is about people, students, teachers, whomever, actively fighting back against the intruder.
The Auburn Police Department cross-trains with the schools. Detective Sergeant Scott Mills says he feels confident in the department's knowledge of the school and strategy.
Identify that threat where the shooting's coming from and get to it as quickly as you can, because the sooner you take care of that, then time counts at that point.
Broward County, Florida's sheriff says the shooter suspect made disturbing social media posts. In Auburn, Handfield says the school has been successful identifying any threats on social media.
It's something brought to our attention that's right away a phone call to district office personnel and the police and or fire. you know, we've been very fortunate that we've been able to take, you know, different issues that have come our way and handle them.
The message from Auburn Police and the schools.
You see something,
say something.
Chandler Walsh, Worcester News Tonight.
In other news, an emotional send-off for a National Guard unit in Worcester. The 188th Engineers are being deployed to the Middle East to do an important job. Our Cam Jandro was at Mechanics Hall today for the ceremony and has the story.
For the second time, the 188th Engineer Detachment is being deployed overseas. 15 men will serve in Kuwait for the next 9 months. Some have roots in central Massachusetts, including First Lieutenant Ryan White.
It was just one of those things, you know, when I was at high school in Northbridge, I had so many friends who joined after playing football and lacrosse and things like that, and I kind of just wanted to do my part.
The Massachusetts National Guard unit is designed to provide engineering expertise for missions, as well as building and repairing facilities. For White, it's his first deployment with the 188th. He served a tour in Afghanistan with another unit in 2010.
I kind of found my niche, you know, serving with the men and women that I've served with just kind of made me want to stay in and keep doing it for as long as I can.
Family and friends filled Mechanics Hall for the departure ceremony. Adjutant General Gary Keefe says the 188th is different from other groups of servicemen and women.
These are your neighbors and your friends. They're not full-time military folks. They're walking away from jobs and schools and families because, you know, they raised their right hand and took an oath to defend.
Massachusetts Senator Ryan Fatman helped send the engineers off. Fatman's brother is in the military and reported to Fort Rucker this week, making Thursday's ceremony more meaningful for him.
I represent 14 communities where there's a tremendous amount of brave people who serve their nation every day. And today, my brother is one of them. So it's just an emotional day.
The unit has been training for the last year. White had a big group of family and friends there to send him off. He says he's excited to serve.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I'm just so grateful, you know, the community, the people that, you know, you affect, whether you're doing state emergencies or deploying overseas, to be a part of that community and to help. And it's very special. I'm very grateful.
Cam Jandro, Worcester News Tonight.